Welcome back. I'm still talking to Dr. Vere, and he's just sharing with us how you as an entrepreneur can put in place systems, can put in place structures that can make sure that your business succeeds. Now, Dr. Vere, just to move on with our program, can you share any success story of an entrepreneur that has come through your hands, that you have helped at your organization, and just to inspire those who are watching us right now?
Thank you so much for that. We have plenty of those. In fact, we have trained over 5,000 entrepreneurs, not in Zimbabwe only, but across Africa, who are making things happen. You know, we normally challenge those that are employed to really look into entrepreneurship and see to it that they really are also joining that for and be doing things. We do have the likes of Chap Steel Hardware. These guys are in Kadoma. The guy has been working for Old Mutual. They are selling insurance. But in a space of 5 years, he managed to open 4 branches in that same area, which are doing very, very well. We do have a number of other entrepreneurs that we cannot exhaust them mentioning by name, but we really have vast. In Liberia, we do have Dr. Jimmy Kamo, who is doing big in pharmaceuticals. That he was even echoing, wanting to then obviously establish a warehouse here in Zimbabwe where those that are in the pharmaceutical business can also access reasonably priced products from him. Yeah.
We have been talking about success, how entrepreneurs can make it, but I know mistakes do happen. I know people can fall at times once they've opened their enterprises and things don't go the way that they would have thought they should be going. As a business coach, how do you help entrepreneurs who would have fallen to rise back on their feet? What sort of advice do you give to those ones?
The reason why most people fail is they would have built their businesses on a wrong foundation. So what we then do is we get into them and do an overhaul of their thinking and view of business, because maybe you can also testify that you have got friends who tried business and failed and they don't even want to do it again. They can resort to employment. So failure in business is an ingredient into the success equation. You can't succeed without failing. Personally, I did fail several times, but the biggest challenge is remaining on the ground when you fall. Okay. Need to rise up, dust yourself up, and continue. What's propelling you now is the end that you begin with in mind. You must begin with the end in mind. So if you do that now, every challenge that you meet along the way will not deter you from seeing the bigger picture that you have. So whenever you fail, you need to then do a fault finding. Where did I miss the point? That analysis is very key, so that you really address the issues that really affected you. And most of the failures are caused by, at times, lack of understanding of how business is run. The starting, supporting, succeeding in that particular business. And most of it also comes from failure to take cognizance of the S's that I spoke about. You have started without a strategy. You also might have started without a very good structure. You have employed relatives from home. You really fail. They can drain you of every cent that you had labored for. Then these other issues of systems. So the greatest advice is, once you fail in business, seek for a business coach or mentor. Look for those that are coming from where you are going, those that have walked the journey already. They have got at least something to tell you, because everyone who has a success business story, it is not a success story without failures in it. Yes.
Now, talking of success and failure, what are some of the essential traits or essential skills that are needed for one to make sure that they will definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel, that their business, once they've started it will surely rise?
As mentioned before, the word business, remove those S's in that word, what's left there is like a bean. If you remove those S's.
Yes.
So these are the S's that every entrepreneur must take particular attention on. Whenever you're thinking of starting a business, make sure that you've got a strategy in place, number one. Number two, make sure that you have got an operationally efficient structure that supports your strategy. The third S, like I mentioned, talks about mass systems. You know, when the white men start businesses, they make sure that every system, they would rather invest in systems than anything else. We have got a practical example in Zimbabwe. I used to work for Farm City, which was then taken by Afro Foods at Wayne Street. The Chinese, they took all the town and country shops. They only operated for within a year, and they were under.
Why was that?
Systems. They inherited experienced managers, and yet they didn't invest in systems, and they were manipulated. They were grounded to zero because of failure to have systems in place, those internal controls I've mentioned.
Yes.
So you really need to, as an entrepreneur as well, you also need to know and understand. In my Becoming a Person of Impact book, the fifth peg is continuous improvement. The things that you knew before you started a business are irrelevant. They don't work in your business. So you need to find mentors and coaches who will teach you how to do it, how to start. The ideation process I mentioned about. How do you support your business? And how do you sustain it? There are issues to do with financial literacy, procurement. You also need to learn how to motivate your staff. You also need to learn marketing. You also need to learn, if you are in the manufacturing industry, you also need to invest in current technologies that makes your business obviously operationally efficient. You need to be working with the lowest possible cost so that you can be competitive in the market. So all those things, those dynamics, you also need to understand.
You mentioned one important aspect, I think, that one of mentorship. You are a business coach. Now, can you just take us through, perhaps someone is watching us and they would want to engage your services. Can you just take us through in a nutshell the process that you go through the minute somebody walks into your office and say, help me out, I want to start my business, but I want to start it on the right footing?
Okay, what we then ask them, especially those that haven't started yet and want to start a business, the first question that we ask them is, which kind of industry are you looking at? Because Grace, every business that you see in the world is a response to social economic challenges people are facing, obviously in the form of a sustainable business. So the first thing is, which challenges do you want to address as a business? Because when you say I want to start a business, that's the first question. Which business do you want to start? Which challenges have you identified? And are the challenges easily convertible into a sustainable business? So we take them through the thinking process as they are also sharing that through with us. We will also obviously come to understand and advise. For instance, I don't know, people started Zvihuta in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Then, if you tell me I want to do Zvihuta, I'll tell you that one is a non-starter. Because where is the business of Zvihuta? You also saw your friends, obviously. I had a bank manager friend and a sergeant and the police who were deep into Zvihuta, even buying the incubators. But it was just a fly overnight.
Yes. It was not sustainable.
It was not sustainable. So before we speak life into whatever that you want to start, we take you through the thinking process. Which kind of challenge do you want to address? And we help them analyze the sustainability of that in the event that we want to inject life into that particular business. That's the first thing that we ask them. After we have understood that, we then obviously be looking at where they want to run the business in, because you also need to do a feasibility study of that particular business. in the area that you want to operate it. Some businesses are okay elsewhere, and if you take them to a certain environment, they might not do as they could or as they will in other places. So we would also want to understand the market dynamics, where you are going to be operating from. And after that, we also then obviously look into your mental acumen. How are you going to configure the resources at your endowments in order for them obviously to become a sustainable business? That is those who want to start. But if someone comes to our office, those that have started already their business, there is a process that we first do, which we call the business health check-up.
Can you explain that? That sounds interesting.
Yes, we also put our stethoscopes as coaches. We then obviously put on your business. We also test the temperature of your business, the blood pressure and stuff. Yes. We really understand. Okay, where are you as in your business? What are you deficient in? What are the things that you are doing best? What kind of assistance do you need? So we really come to understand your business, just like what the doctors do. They tell you the temperature is too high, what you need to do, you need a bed rest, you need this and this, before they prescribe a panacea to whatever that you are facing. They start to analyze first. So that's the most important aspect that we do, because a wrong diagnosis results in a wrong antidote, which will also aggravate the situation on the ground. So we make sure that we take our time understanding their business. After having understood, we then bring a script that speak of the issues that we have identified, that we are going to be taking them through one by one until we have absolved them of those challenges. Then they are on their way doing it. But what we now do to our members, those that would have come through us, we'll then take them by the hand through every process that we would have prescribed, so that we see them succeeding into each and every step as they move forward. Because once you come through us, we wouldn't want to be associated with failures. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Vere, for those nuggets. Viewers, I am talking to Dr. Vere, who is a business coach. He helps entrepreneurs, as you heard for yourselves, that he takes you by the hand until you are able to stand on your own 2 feet and run in the business world. You are watching New Money. Stay with us.